You don't need 1 million followers to make $1 million. You need one funnel that just flat out works. And I've built over $115 million in sales using funnels just like these. Today's video, I'm gonna break down the funnel types that changed my life and bank account. Funnel number one is what I like to call the SLO funnel, or the self-liquidating offer. So here's how it works. You'll have an ad and you're gonna run it usually to something that costs, $7 to, let's say, $47. And you're trying to get 3% conversion rate on this, okay? So hypothetically, let's just use an example. Let's say you spent $1,000 on ads, okay? So that's your money there. And you send it to the site. Usually what you would hope for is at least $500 purchased from these buyers, okay? And let's just say, hypothetically, that got you about 20 customers, all right? Now, with those 20 customers, it's a self-liquidating offer. So we've made $500, but we spent $1,000. And then what we're gonna do with these 20 customers is through email, text, VSL, Facebook group, or you can even use school. Then what we wanna do is we wanna upsell them to a high ticket call. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna go from the ad, buy the product, and then we're gonna try to get them to a call using the methods that I just showed below: text, email, VSL, etc. And we're gonna try to get at least one or two of those people to purchase the high ticket offer. So if we had 20 people buy the 47, and then we can get 2 people at, let's say, $5,000 to buy, well, if we just spent $1,000, we made 500 here, and then we made an extra 10,000. The cool part is usually at scale, if you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads, you're gonna make more money because most people, instead of getting this 500, they just push straight to a high ticket funnel, and we'll go over that. The downside is it's a lot harder to get this to convert. You have to be a lot better at marketing, a lot better at writing copy, a lot better at setting up funnels and automations, those types of things. The upside is you're gonna make more money overall at scale. So this is the first funnel. So the next funnel allows you to sell your actual book that you've made into it. Now, first and foremost, you have to actually create a book. I don't think this is a great thing to do for most beginners, but if you do it, it's gonna be very similar. So you're gonna run it to a book. It'll usually be either $7, right? Or it could be free plus shipping. Okay, so you guys have probably seen these types of funnels. Free plus shipping. And then what you're gonna do is once they buy, again, we're gonna try to get them to a call using marketing on the back end, okay? So emails, webinars, whatever. So think of it this way, most of the time when you're selling these products, the biggest things here is you're gonna have emails, texts, voicemails. You may even have setters call. Okay, so right here, setters are gonna start dialing and calling these individuals. And the whole point is to get a few of those people to the call to, again, liquidate some of that ad spend. Some of the people will only wanna buy that book or that self-liquidating offer that we showed earlier. But a few people hopefully will purchase the upsell. So the goal usually is about 10% of those purchasers will get on a call and buy the next package. And if you can do that, it will actually get pulled off. So the self-liquidating offer and the book funnel are really similar. It's just one, you're actually selling a course, a product, a service, something that is cheap. This one, you're actually selling a book. I will usually say the books will work better, but it depends how many people actually will buy on the back end with the upsell. Because if you're not getting people to purchase the high ticket product on the back end, $5,000 plus, it's usually not going to convert and you're gonna run into issues. Now, if you're a beginner watching this, the next funnel is something that you might wanna start with. So I call this the waterfall funnel. Most people, I believe, should start selling high ticket products. And the reason being is, let me just show you how this works, is if you spend $1,000 on this ad, okay, here's usually what it will look like. You'll get 100 leads, 10 bucks a pop. Out of 100 leads, you'll get 10 calls and you'll close 1, okay? Now, if that works, $1,000 in, but if you're selling a $5,000 package, this will be $4,000 of profit. So that works. And that's why most people, I believe, should actually do that, because it's a lot easier to push people to the one thing that you want them to buy versus the self-liquidating offer or the book funnel. Now, usually when you're doing this type of funnel, it's normal to send them to an opt-in page. Opt-in page just means where you ask for their name, email, phone number. You guys have probably seen some of those. A VSL, which then pushes to a call, or it could be a webinar. It's just usually a video that's, hey, here's how the service works, here's why you need to do it, this is why you should work with us, and they book a call. Now, the waterfall funnel is a little different because in marketing, you'll see things go through cyclical cycles. Over the years, what some people will do is they'll cut out this opt-in, they'll go straight to the VSL, which then goes to the call. Now, the downside of this is you don't get any emails and you don't get any phone numbers. So I'll put text, right? And so that's the trade-off. The upside is you're gonna get more people to get to this VSL. So hypothetically, you might get more people to book a call. Now, I usually would not recommend this funnel for beginners. I think this is after the fact. If you haven't gone this normal funnel up here to work, but this is what a waterfall funnel looks like. And the goal is to get as many people pushed to that VSL to get them to take the action you want to book a call. Now, you can retarget. You can use retargeting ads for people who don't book a call and then send those ads back. So RTG is retargeting. We can send those people who got to the page, but they didn't book a call and then send ads to push them back to it. But the downside is there's no back-end remarketing. And so I usually like to get people's names, emails, phone numbers, so I can market to them on the back end with text, emails, phone numbers. The team can call them, voicemails, all those types of things. So you have to see which one actually makes you more money. But if you don't have those processes dialed in, I usually would not recommend using a waterfall funnel if you're a beginner. Now, coming up is another funnel with no opt-in to start. So we'll call this a reverse squeeze page. So what you'll do is you'll run an ad. And when I say VSL, just remember that's a video sales letter. It could also be a webinar. It's really just a fancy way to say video. And on the video, you'll say, hey, if you take this next action, we'll give you a freebie. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to sell marketing services and I say, look, when you're on this page, hey, by the way, if you book a call, we'll also give you this freebie. So it's called a reverse squeeze funnel because instead of giving them value up front, you're trying to reverse it by saying, hey, if you take this action I want you to take, in this case, booking a call, we'll give it to you on the back end. So again, I don't usually like these types of funnels because I think you are losing out more than you're gaining. But at the end of the day, the cool thing you can do with all this is you test it. When you test it, the data will tell you what's working, and then you can go from that point. Next up, let's talk about the webinar funnel that most people, honestly, including me, say is dead. So with a webinar funnel, that's gonna be your typical funnel, right? Your typical high ticket funnel. So here it'll be a webinar, and then it books a call usually, okay? Now, all a webinar is it's a VSL that is kind of premeditated, or maybe it's recorded already, or you're putting them in a simple software, and then the webinar has like some different stuff where you can chat and do some different things like that, versus a VSL, it's pre-recorded and there's usually nothing you can do on that because it's not in automated software. Webinars are fine. I just think most people now, they've seen marketing for a lot of years and they kind of know what's happening. And so instead of a webinar, I usually would recommend a VSL because I think a VSL is simpler. They can watch it at any time. Nothing is more annoying to me than when I look at an ad, I click on it and it says, all right, schedule a time for the webinar. And I'm like, the webinar is not even live. I don't know why they're doing this. They're just trying to force me to like use this software. It's a little bit annoying to me. But a webinar can actually work. In fact, all these things can work. It's just to what degree you want to make it work and also what your offer is. So some offers, anything will work. Other offers, specific things will work. This is how a webinar funnel looks. There's nothing crazy. And then guys, remember, when someone opts in, every time I put this, the goal is you're emailing, texting, calling, etc. You're doing all these things to push people to a call. So if they get here from the webinar, great. But if they don't, then your back-end marketing needs to make sure that it pays off. But what if you want to skip the webinar altogether? You can do what I call a no webinar funnel. So there's nothing really flashy here. It's similar to some of the other funnels that we've already covered. But what I would do in this case is I would do ad. Usually it's a VSL, right? And then again, it goes to a call. So we've already seen this once before. We call it a reverse squeeze page. It just depends on this one. We're not actually giving them anything or promising anything. It's like, hey, book a call. We'll talk to you, see if it's a fit. The reverse squeeze page that we saw earlier is similar, but it's saying, hey, if you book a call here, we'll give you this free gift, but you have to book a call to get it. It's the same thing, it's just giving you a little bit different incentive. So some people will test this out and their hypothesis is, hey, we'll get more people here and cut out the opt-in page. The downside is you don't get the email and phone number. So it's really similar to a normal opt-in funnel. You just have to decide, is the opt-in worth it? Because the other way to run this is an opt-in, VSL, call. So really what you're looking at is, should I have an opt-in or should I not? And that's really all it comes down to. This one is a no webinar funnel. It's similar to the webinar, except now instead of that automated webinar, it's gonna be a video, or sometimes it might not even be a video. And we're just trying to get them to take the action we want them to take with as little friction as possible. Next up is a funnel built just to book sales calls. So I call this book a call funnel. So the main premise of this one is it's actually not a funnel at all. You're gonna use one of your social media platforms. What I usually recommend is YouTube. And YouTube is great because this is long form content. So Usually you need about 2 hours of content consumed by someone before there's a lot of trust. YouTube, if this is a 20 or 25-minute video, I only need you to watch 4 videos versus Instagram, it might be 100 videos, right? Because it's 30 to 60-second reels. So here, all we wanna do is have a YouTube video, and then down below in the description, you guys have probably seen this, is have links to book a call. And so this link here, let's say it goes to a form, they fill out the form, and then they have the call. And so there's really nothing crazy about this one. This is just what I call book a call funnel. And the content has to be really good because that essentially is your VSL. That is your webinar. So this video right here, if you guys like it, maybe you'll look down in the description and go, hey, I'm gonna book a call with Tanner's team, or hey, I'm gonna come to Tanner's free group. It's not required, obviously. I want to give value regardless, but I'm hoping a few of you will take action on that and be serious, because that's how I grow my business. That's how I make my investments, is I get people who want to take their business to the next level by showing a lot of value using, quote unquote, a book a call funnel. So it's not a normal funnel. It's really kind of, or another way we call it is a social media funnel. But what if you took it a step further and used one YouTube video as your funnel? So this is what Iman Gadzhi actually used to do. I don't see him doing it anymore, but what you can do is in every YouTube video, so we'll just put YouTube up here, can't draw, you'll push every YouTube video to one main video. So let's just pretend this is your VSL on YouTube, okay? And then from this VSL, you'll have your links down here. But this is specifically more of a VSL type video. It's a marketing video. It's not an instruction or education video like this. It is, hey, my name is Chidester. I've done $115 million in sales. Here's some of the clients we've worked with. Here's the 3 things we do. It's more of that type of VSL. And so what you're doing is every single YouTube video, we'll do YouTube, is pushing to this video right here. And this video is more of the webinar or the VSL. So you've seen Iman Gadzhi do it. I don't see him doing it anymore, but you will see some individuals, go look at their YouTube channels. They will link every single YouTube video to one video. And that one video is kind of the VSL or the webinar, which has the stuff down below that they want you to push to. So you can, it's really easy to see. You just go look at their YouTube channels, how they're set up. I don't do that. Every single YouTube video I have the links to where I want people to go. But that could definitely work. I just don't see people doing it as often, or one time I saw Iman Gadzhi teaching about it, but then he stopped doing it. So I don't look more at what people do versus what they say. But that is what I call a hub and spoke funnel. You can definitely do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't personally do it. Next is a 7-day campaign that ends in conversions. Now, this is not my favorite funnel, but a lot of people use it, and it is what I call the challenge funnel. You can use ads or organic, right? And keep in mind, you guys don't have to use ads. It's just most people don't have a big enough organic audience to make this work. So you'll go to an opt-in page, and then that usually goes to a thank you page and a group. It's like, hey, welcome to the group. This is the challenge we're gonna be doing over the next 5 days. And then what you have is day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. So let's just say it's a 4-day challenge. Usually it's 3 to 5 days. And on each day, they'll send emails and texts every single day like this. And then day 4, they'll pitch. So the goal is that, think of it this way, if you knew me for 5 days and then I offered you something versus selling it on day 1, the goal is you build so much trust that it increases conversions. Now, sometimes it can, sometimes it can't. The hard part is getting people to show up to every single day, because some people show up to day 1, day 2, then they fall off day 3, or it just doesn't convert at the highest level that you'd like. A lot of this is testing, but this is how a challenge funnel works, where you're gonna push the traffic to usually a group, okay? So opt-in page, get your email and phone number, then it goes to a group, and then you're gonna email and text them every single day to show up for the live challenge, and then you pitch on day 4. I've had a few clients who do this, they get crazy results, but I don't think it works for everyone, and it does take higher level marketing skills. You have to know how to set up the automations, the funnels, or you gotta get help with it. If you need help with this type of stuff, there's a link down below. You can book a call with my team, but this is how the challenge funnel works. Now, what if your audience became your funnel? So the next one up is what I call the community funnel. So same thing, you'll start with ads, organic, and it's similar to the challenge funnel, except we're not gonna run the challenge. You're gonna have them opt in, which then goes to a thank you page. So it's like, hey, thanks for opting in, make sure to join our group. And then they go to the group. And then inside the group, that becomes your funnel. So on Monday, I'll just put Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What you'll do is you'll do different things on those days. So let's say Monday, you have a motivation post, okay? Tuesday, you do lives. Wednesday, you do value post. Thursday, so on and so forth. And then inside of this, what you're gonna wanna do is you're DMing everyone, you're texting, you're calling. The biggest thing I want you to see is no matter what funnel it is, if you're not following up, it's not going to work. You have to follow up. It is vital to making these funnels work. So the community funnel, you'll see a lot of people do it, and really it's just putting people in a Facebook group, DMing, texting them, calling them, giving value in the group, doing webinars, and you're pulling individuals from that group by building trust that way into your program. So it's very similar to a challenge funnel, except there's actually no challenge. Basically, it's the exact same thing. You're gonna end up, in the exact same place. You're just not gonna actually do the challenge. Next, let's talk about monetizing followers with no funnel. So this is probably the oldest funnel in the book, and someone I'm gonna think of in this regard is someone who has a massive audience. So think of Kim Kardashian or Justin Bieber or whoever you like. I don't know if those people are popular right now, so excuse me if they're not. But all they're gonna do is they're gonna do a post, and the post is gonna have a link, or they're gonna say, click the link in my bio. Now, in a perfect world, this would be the easiest way to build a business. The difference though is if they get 100 million impressions a month and you get 1,000, you're not gonna get enough volume to get them to actually buy your stuff. That's why part of being rich is either one, you have an amazing business, or two, you have an amazing business plus you actually have a really cult following. So one of the people I actually think right now is doing this amazingly well is Alex Ramosi. He has a cult-like following, but he's also amazing at business. And so he gets a lot of free traffic, a lot of organic traffic, a lot of eyeballs for free. And all he has to do is post about something and push to a link or push to a book or whatever, and people will buy it. So this is one of the oldest ones in the book. It sounds great on paper. It's just if you don't have a huge organic audience or you don't go viral, or you don't build that, this funnel absolutely will not work. But if you're someone who has a huge audience and you're new to business and you're an influencer, this is how a lot of your favorite influencers make money, because they're actually kind of clueless in business. But if you're clueless in business and you can just set up a simple page where they can buy something or a link to a book or a link to, some type of product, this sells very, very well. Here comes the most dramatic launch method of all. This is what I like to call the product launch funnel. So when you have a new product, you have a new book coming out, or you have a new formula for Gatorade competitor product or a candy bar, or whatever it is, you can do what is called the product launch funnel. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to drip feed to it. So usually you're just posting on your social media or you're emailing your email list. And what you're gonna have is 4 videos. So you have video 1, which hypes it up, which then pushes to video 2, video 3, and video 4. And then video 4, on day 4, you're actually going to pitch your new product. So it's kind of a little tease. You're kind of like, hey, day 1, day 2, day 3. And you'll see a lot of people do this. Actually, I brought him up earlier, but Alex Ramosi did this great with his book launches. His book launches, he does this magnificently because he drips that it's coming out and he builds a lot of anticipation and hype, gets people to start promoting it, talking about it, and then he pitches and it goes absolutely bonkers. And so this is something you can definitely do when you have a new product. If you don't have a new product, I don't think this is gonna work, but if you have a new product, this absolutely is something that can knock it out of the park. Now, what if you wanna borrow someone else's list? This is what I call a partnership or JV funnel. So super, super simple. You'll have your traditional funnel. It doesn't matter what your funnel is, so we'll just do something traditional. Let's just say you have opt-in, VSL, and call. And all you're gonna do is if you have a JV or partner, so let's say I go to Kim Kardashian, I say, hey Kim, I'm gonna pay you $1 million. Kim will then promote my product to push to this opt-in page, and that's where I'll make a lot of money because I'm stealing her traffic. So again, this is why influencers can demand so much money if they have any clue to know what they're doing, because if you build a big brand, you get free traffic. So I spent $30 million on Facebook ads over the last 6 years. What if I got $30 million of traffic for free? Well, that obviously is gonna make me $30 million richer, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I made a lot of money, but I make even more money. And so this is a JV or partnership funnel where you're stealing someone else's traffic and pushing, and then in return, you make a lot of money. And then let's say I tell Kim Kardashian, either I pay her up front or I'll give her a percentage. And usually it'd be anywhere between 20 to 40% as a percentage if you're gonna do it based on sales. If you can pull that off, that's great, but it just depends if the JV partner is going to accept that. Some want to be paid up front, some will accept a percentage after sales. But my favorite funnel ever that's currently working right now doesn't even have a page. So this is called the invisible funnel. Here's how it works. You'll be in the DMs with a prospect, okay? So that could be on IG, Facebook, etc. And all you're gonna do is when you're having the conversation, you're gonna send a doc. And the doc is gonna have your offer and all the features listed out. Now, this has to be really good and you have to be very good at copywriting, because if it's not gonna sell. But the goal will be is that inside there, you'll either have a payment link, right? Or you'll have a place to book a call. And then that will turn into sales. So this is actually one of the easier funnels to use. Now, the pros and the cons of it, the con is you're not getting people's information. It takes a little more time, it's a little more arduous, but the upside is that for more experienced buyers who are kind of sick of the BS, It's like, hey, send me over what you have. The downside is you may not push as many sales through because you're not forcing the action. One of the things I've learned about sales and marketing is you want to force people to take the action you want them to take. If you don't, and they get to choose too much, I honestly don't feel like that actually increases sales, but this is something you can try out if you're new to social media, if you're new to business, if you don't know how to set up a lot of this stuff, this is something you can definitely do. I haven't tried it at scale and I probably wouldn't do it at this point, but this is definitely a funnel you can try out if you are new to social media, you're new to marketing, you're new to automations, all that type of stuff. So if you made it this far, you know more about funnels now than 99% of people online. These models have helped me generate over $115 million, and they can do the same for you if you take action. Now, if you wanna see the exact moment I lost almost $500,000 and what I learned from it, click right here to watch that video.